Hi, I'm Darcie Lynn. Welcome back to Slider's Corner. Today we have Whit with us. He is a 4-year-old buckskin gelding, and we are going to be covering a session of groundwork and the importance of it, and you're going to learn methods that I use, and I'll explain how that transfers into riding and into the saddle work. So for me, the groundwork is different than what most people think it is. They want to chase a horse around the round pen and wear them out, and for me it's about getting their focus. I want that control and their focus on me on the ground the same way that I have it in the saddle. I'm also big about teaching my horses to lead, so as I pull him forward, he needs to move his feet and come forward. I'm not the type that steps behind to chase him, because then his focus isn't on me. By nature, a baby horse will follow its mom. So I'm the more dominant one, and I want him to follow my guidance and keep his eye on me. If I want him to speed up, I'm just simply going to pull on him a little bit and ask him to speed up. Now, if he wouldn't have, I would have encouraged him with the whip. Whoa. So you can see that his focus is mostly on me. Now, it's no different than leading a horse down an alleyway. He needs to keep up with me. I also, if I pull on him, I want his feet to keep moving and just come in closer to me. If I want him to lope a smaller circle. Now if I want him to move out, I'm going to feed the rope and I can step toward him and ask him to move away. If I stop, whoa. It's no different than showmanship. My shoulders and his shoulders should be heading the same direction. If I switch direction with my shoulders, he should switch direction with his shoulders. He's mirroring me as if I was just leading him around. The only difference is I have control of his feet on a longer line. Whoa. Good boy. Okay, so the other thing I want to cover that I do different on my groundwork is that when I ask that horse to stop, I want him to stop parallel. You probably have all seen showmanship and how the horse they look like they are in sync with the handler. Whoa. So when I asked this horse to stop, all I did is I stopped myself. That's part of the reason that I walk forward. Whoa. That's part of the reason I walk forward when I'm lunging, but the reason that I want him to stand here is several. I have 3. First off, if he were to be turning and squared off with me, and most people want to pull him and have him face off to stop, you're in the line of fire. If they get spooked and they run forward, you're going to get run over. If it's a young one or it's a stallion that's feeling ornery, they want to bite or strike, again, you're in the line of fire. The other thing is everybody usually starts with groundwork when they get ready to get a horse going under saddle. So if my horse is always taught to turn and face me, and I go to put a saddle on him, he's trying to walk circles to face me all the time. I want him to be able to keep his attention and his eye on me and still be comfortable with me standing by his side and being able to work and do what I want to do, and being able to stand there quiet and not always turning to face me. The other area that comes into play is what I had showed you earlier that I'll review again, is that if you have a horse loping on that lunge line, and say they get to going fast and they're fresh and they're pulling on you, and pretty soon they feel that pressure, that pull, they want to stop and face you. And so I want them to move their feet into this pull, but keep coming forward, no different than as if I was riding them. So that eliminates the struggle of one that wants to lean on the lead rope when you're lunging, because they think that when they get pulling on you, they think you're pulling on them, and pretty soon they stop and face you. Whoa. I change my shoulders, I move direction. He follows and mirrors me. Again, keeping his eye on me. If I ask him to slow down, I'm going to soften and slow my body down. Easy. You see him watch me? I just ask him a little bit with the whip there. Might use a little voice. Easy. If I want him to trot, easy. Easy. There. If I want him to speed up, body language again. I take myself forward. I move my hand forward. I want him to stop. Woo. Good. So Wit is being a very good student today and not giving me much to work on, but I'm going to explain what I would do if he come out fresh and didn't carry himself in a collected, nice stand-up frame. You've probably seen horses come out fresh and they're dropping their shoulder and they're leaning and they're just going really hard in their circle on the lunge line. I want them to carry themselves no different than if I was on their back. And you can manage a lot of this on the ground, believe it or not. So if he's leaning towards me, a couple things I could do is I'm going to push his butt out away from me. And you see how that slows him down? I'm going to pull his nose at the same time, and that's going to make him stand up a little bit more collected. Good boy. But I got to pull his nose in at the same time and push that butt out away from me. You see how that added collection to him? Slowed him down. Woo. Good boy. So I just brought out a young one that's pretty green, and we're just going to go over some of the same stuff so you can see anything that might go wrong on a horse that's a little bit younger. One of the things I also do before we start lunging is I get them to be able to move away from me to stay out of my space, and that definitely comes in handy when I ask them to stop. If I have one that wants to turn and face me, I can correct them and move their shoulders back away from me. I also make sure that I have that hip broke loose on the ground so that if I need to use that while she's moving forward, that it's functioning and it's there. Last long, but I'm still going to push on her a little bit. See how that slowed her down and brought her eye into me? Got her attention instead of her thinking that she was just out here to have playtime. She's out here to work. I want to get her focused and get her ready to be saddled or be ridden. And that's with any horse. It's not just to tire them out. It's to mentally get their focus and see where they're at before you get on them. And get their attention so you're not getting in those fights. Woo. Good girl. We're going to change direction. So as my shoulders change, I might have to follow through a little bit with the whip there. And I'm going to push on her. See, she's getting playful. I'm going to pull on her nose and push her hip a little bit. Slowed her down. Made her stand up. Got her eye on me. Woo. Again, when I'm ready to change directions, my shoulders turn, I lead off. I might have to follow through a little bit with my whip just to push her out away from me. Woo. I can speed her up more, give her a little more line. Good girl. So even when I ask her to speed up, if she gets a little playful, I still didn't lose her attention. As soon as I stopped, she was right there with me and ready to stop. So that pretty much sums up the session for the groundwork today. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Slider's Corner, and I hope to see you again soon.